Friends, I got some exciting news for you.
So the NDP have been instrumental in Canada in terms of their role during this pandemic in getting people the help that they need. So even though the NDP do not hold power, the Liberals hold a minority government, the pressure that the NDP has put on the Liberals, we've seen, the major accomplishment being the $2,000 a month that Canadians receive through the CERB. That's because of the NDP fighting for that. And they've done it again. So before I get to what the Liberals have now given into when it comes to the NDP and their demands, this week was Trudeau's speech from the throne, essentially setting out goals for the new session of Parliament. And because he holds a minority government, he needs support from another party to be able to hold that government. So this gets into the NDP. One highlight from Trudeau's speech from the throne was that he called essentially saying that this is not a time for austerity. So the Liberal intention here is actually to invest into people, which is a good start. But the speech still fell short from what the NDP expected when it came to two particular areas. So let me show you first Jagmeet Singh. So NDP leader Jagmeet Singh here discussing, this is what he said after the speech and what he is calling for here on what he wants to see the Liberal government do.
I want to put the proposition in the positive. We put forward our two demands, and if the government puts forward legislation, makes it clear they're going to do these two things, extend CERB and put in place paid sick leave for all Canadians so that no one has to make the impossible choice, we will support that. So to put it in the positive, those two things are put in place in legislation. We will vote yes for those and we will support that and we will move forward.
All right, so there, calling for just two things. Extending the CERB, so ensuring that, so the CERB is now moving into unemployment insurance, but ensuring that that $2,000 a month is still going to be there for Canadians that need it. So that's one of his demands, as the the Trudeau Liberals were going to cut that. And the other one being paid sick leave. Now, let me show you what happened. Althea Raj here of HuffPost tweeted out, Liberals agree to NDP demand to increase benefit from $400 to $500 a week. Meaning $2,000 a month. So it worked. The pressure from the NDP on the Liberal government to give Canadians more worked. And they're also, the sick leave part I'm a little confused by, because there is still a, they have a, I'm sure you can't read it from here, but the Canadian Recovery Sickness Benefit, so $500 per week for up to 2 weeks for workers who are sick or must self-isolate. So they appear to also give into that demand as well. But Jagmeet Singh appears to say here that they're still fighting for that. So let me show you his reaction to what the Liberals came back with.
Friends, I got some exciting news for you. We've been fighting hard to make sure the Liberal government does not cut the help that people receive who are on CERB right now to $1,600. The Liberal proposal is going to cut the help that people who cannot get back to work right now, the help that they receive, by $400. We fought back and said no. People need to know that there's help for them if they need it, and that help will remain $2,000. So we got that win for you, for people. You can count on that $2,000 being there for you. The next thing we're fighting for is to make sure any worker that falls sick can rely on paid sick leave. We're in the middle of negotiations, and we're very hopeful we can get that as well, to make sure that no one has to make the impossible choice of going into work sick or staying at home and not knowing how they're going to pay the bills without having any income from not going into work. So I know that people are worried. I want you to know that we're fighting for you.
There you go. This is the result of having a solid left-wing opposition. So because it is a minority government, the Liberals actually have to work with other parties. And because Conservatives are just going to be blanket anti-Trudeau, not going to really work with him on anything, it actually kind of benefits the left, because it means that Trudeau is then forced to move more left to try and appeal to NDP voters and the party, meaning that what he puts forward is going to be more beneficial to Canadians as a whole. So you see here, Jagmeet Singh very happy to see that the $2,000 a month is going to stay, and continuing to work on the sick days. But basically, this means we're not going to have a fall election. He almost certainly is going to accept now what the Liberals have put forward, and it's unlikely that we're going to see an election this fall. Thank God. I really did not want to have to get out and vote this year or really even cover an election. I'm perfectly happy with how the minority government is functioning right now. Obviously, it's not. There's always ways to improve the system. Students especially have basically, in many ways, been left behind during this pandemic. That said, I've been enjoying how the NDP have pulled the Liberals to the left, and I think we're going to continue seeing that. And hopefully, if we get a strong Green Party leader out of this leadership race in Canada, Dimitri Lascaris, I'm polling for him for Green Party leader, we're really going to have a completely transformed discussion around politics in Canada.